Hello everybody, my name is Sylvia Walukiewicz. For several years I have been working as a life and personality coach, as a psychologist, and as a sensitive and mediumistic consultant. I also give workshops and seminars on various topics of spiritual development. One of the issues that I often see in my clients is that many do not feel accepted by others, even though they make so much effort to adapt. Many do not feel seen nor appreciated or accepted. The impression of not being accepted nor seen by others often manifests to different degrees in several areas of life. Furthermore, it is exciting to see that many believe that they can only be seen and accepted if they have a better performance. However, this is only part of the way to reach one's goal. Why is that, one wonders? What is the reason that I adapt so well and perform well and still do not feel accepted nor seen? One of the main reasons for this is our basic need to be loved and accepted by others. There is nothing wrong with this need. However, we forget how important it is first and foremost to direct this love and acceptance towards ourselves, since we have never really learned how to do this. Already in our childhood, we knew how to behave to get the love of our parents, but we also knew what we should refrain from in order to not be rejected. In addition to these family ideals, the knowledge about what is accepted or less accepted in society is consciously or unconsciously anchored in most of us. For example, we know that impatience is considered as being rather negative, or that outbursts of anger are rather being criticized. Another example is that many people reject or condemn an expression of emotional weakness, or when you're afraid of something. The consequence of this is that because of our profound need to be accepted and loved, we also begin to perceive these parts as negative, since our environment rejects them. This creates a kind of inner fight against ourselves. Instead of supporting ourselves and thus strengthening our inner self, we fight against ourselves, which weakens us, and thereby we become more vulnerable. By doing so, we begin to reject ourselves because we believe in the illusion that by doing this, we could be more accepted by others. This is only the case in our conviction, but it does not correspond to the reality. What contradicts to this conviction or social illusion is the law of resonance, or also called law of attraction. This states, among other things, that others treat us in the same way as we treat ourselves. This means that the more we change ourselves to please others, and the more parts of ourselves we reject, the more other people will reject us. In contrast, if we accept ourselves more as we are, with our sensitive parts, our fears and our needs, others will accept us more and will respect us the way we are. If we give up more and more the inner fight against ourselves and accept our parts as they are, we can enjoy more inner harmony, strengthen ourselves as we stand up for ourselves, and are able to perceive the feeling of being whole more and more. In the following, I will show you a method with which you can accept your rejected parts step by step to get more into your inner strength. I wish you a lot of joy in becoming more complete and in building your inner strength.
Everyone, this short video is about how to accept yourself more and more in order to connect more with your inner strength. I suppose that most of you know the situation from your childhood or your youth that your parents, let's say, criticized some behaviors more and favorized rather other behaviors. For example, let's say in some families, it was not really allowed to show intense emotional reactions. So in the moment in which you showed an intense emotional reaction, you were rejected by your parents. Or the other way around. In some families, it might have been that they preferred rather the drama instead of being happy. And so they rejected if you showed too much happiness. So in both examples, you have learned that a certain behavior was more accepted and other behaviors led more to rejection by others. As a result, you started to reject some parts within yourself, which created a type of inner fight within yourself and more weakness. What you need to know is that from an energetic and a spiritual point of view, you consist of all parts. So you need to know that you have all parts inside yourself. You have the lazy part, you have the hardworking part, you have the strong part as well as the vulnerable part. And you have, of course, the emotional as well as the rational part. So, and if you reject one or the other, you create a type of imbalance. Because in order to be balanced, you need both parts. So it's really vitally important to accept both of them in order to create more inner balance, and what's even more important, to create more inner completeness. Let's move to the 5-step process of accepting and integrating your rejected parts. As a first step, it is very important to identify which parts have been rejected. This you can do by observing the behavior of other people and observing your reaction to this behavior. So, for example, when you observe a person being very emotional and you feel really a rejection towards this person, it means that you might rejected the emotional part in you and you don't allow yourself to be emotional. Or you can also identify the rejected parts by observing your own behavior and how your attitude is to your own behavior. It means that, for example, if you are aggressive towards a person and then you are angry with yourself about having been aggressive, it means that you don't allow yourself to be aggressive, and in this moment it means that you have rejected this part. So take your time to identify which parts you have rejected, maybe some days or even you might need some weeks, and really observe your behavior and observe how you react to some characteristic and traits of other people, and write them down. As a second step, ask yourself, why did you reject the parts? What's the story behind it? So at the beginning of this video I mentioned the situation of being with your family and that your family might have reacted with a very negative attitude towards being emotional or towards being very happy. So ask yourself, what's the story about it and why did you have started to reject it? So as a third step, find out what's the emotion behind the rejection. So for example, as a child, your parents really did reject your emotional part, or did reject that you have been helpless, that you have been asking for help. So might in this moment you have started to feel like lonely or less loved. So in this moment, the part of feeling helplessness and feeling lonely is associated. So take your time to find out what's the story behind your rejected emotions and what's the emotion associated to your rejected parts. As a fourth step, it is vitally important to accept the emotion first before you integrate the rejected part. It means that, let's take the example of feeling helpless and the association with the loneliness. So first you need to accept that it's okay to feel lonely sometimes and that you take care of this emotion of feeling lonely. And then you have splitted the association, and then you can accept the part of feeling helpless, because sometimes it's okay to feel helpless. It just matters how you deal with it. So really take your time and go through the emotions and accept one emotion after the other. And sometimes it's might necessary to forgive other people to have you made feel this way, or to forgive yourself that you felt that way or that you behaved in a certain manner. After having done this, then accept more and more the rejected parts. Yeah, so really take your time and say, hey, it's okay to be aggressive sometimes, but it matters how I deal with it. It's okay to feel, let's say, lonely or helpless or to be lazy sometimes. It's okay. But I accept myself as I am and for what I am, but I know how to deal with that. Yeah? And it doesn't mean that you have to be more lazy or you have to be more aggressive. It just means that you accept this part within you and then you accept this part more within other people. Yeah? So really take your time to do this 5-step process, and of course you will not identify all parts at once. So really take your time and really enjoy this process, because you are getting to know yourself more and more profound. So I wish you a lot of joy in accepting and integrating your rejected parts and becoming more complete and feeling more inner strength. So thank you for watching this video and see you soon.